even better than I was the last time, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.
We back.
I'm good. Ooh, yeah. I'm good. Better than I was the last time, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.
We back, and 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 we back.
Better than I was the last time.
Raps just made me anxious, and action made me crazy. Them squares just made me looser, that wax just made me lazy. And I still make this song, and I'ma make another. If you ever actually hit me, better watch out for my brother. Better, I'll take that deal. Gotta watch out for my mother. Get a watch with all that glitters. Come in clutters, different colors. Been a baller, been for butler, chauffeur, hit a stainer. Did I stutter? Did a ton of drugs and did better than all my alma mater. Motherfucking money dance, honey's in, Galilee.
Hello and welcome to another episode of TBBBAP.
Two best brothers bitch about ponies.
I'm Cake Standard.
And I'm Phantom Horn, and thanks for joining us today.
It's been a while, and we're happy to be back.
Thanks for joining us as we discuss Rainbow Rocks.
Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks,
the
yeah.
new-ish
Just
movie.
checked it out.
Not that new, actually.
Not that new, but still topical, and that's why we're here.
Yeah. Well, what did you think, Keg,
Well,
about the film?
You know, I kind of see it like it has a lot of the bad stuff from the first one, but I think it made a big improvements in many ways, and I found myself enjoying myself way more than I expected to, even though there was a lot of terrible stuff. I give it a thumbs up. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
With you on a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Did I hate it? No, except a lot of it I did. Honestly, most of it I did. I have to give it a thumbs down. It's not really that bad.
Yeah.
It's just most of it was dialogue, and all the dialogue was really bad. I thought really forced.
Yeah. A lot
And
of
also,
the
go on.
I was gonna say a lot of the humor was really forced. Like they would do some
Yeah,
things.
only like one or two jokes didn't fall flat.
It's true. Like I thought it was funny when Pinkie Pie says like, "Oh no, the sirens." I don't actually know what that is. That one made me laugh. But then there were even more of the like. Of when Sunset opens the fridge, you see all the whipped cream, and I'm laughing at myself, like, ha, they're at Pinkie's house, look at all that whipped cream in there, and then she just says, oh man, can you believe how much whipped cream there is in this fridge?
Yeah.
Cue the laugh track.
The thing
Fucking
about,
gold.
like, Sunset being all, I hope they didn't hear bad things about me, and Fluttershy's like, yeah. Oh, mate, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew the joke they were trying to tell there.
Yeah.
But it felt really, I don't know.
I felt like the humor was assuming that I, as the audience, was an idiot. I felt talked down to by the movie.
Yeah. In the humor and also the dialogue,
really.
which was very heavily expositional a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It nothing was left to like implication or subtlety. It was all just like
very little.
Here's what's happening.
Yep.
But a couple of jokes were good, and Maud was there, and that was cool.
I loved the Maud
was
moments.
Really cool, yeah.
Actually, I really liked it at first. I was like, okay, they're doing the retard Maud thing with her just pouring some chips on the floor. Okay, I can deal with that. Her inclusion was great. She had a great part.
It really was a big crappy movie that sucked, with a couple of like things in there that were really good that I really did like.
I think of it as a tapestry, and several of the threads that went all the way through I quite enjoyed. But then there were, there were probably even more that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But for instance, my favorite thing about the movie by far was everything involving Sunset Shimmer. This was Sunset Shimmer the movie, and I loved it. It was awesome. That's
the thing I'm most happy about, is that they gave the focus to Sunset Shimmer. I was really afraid that she wasn't even going to be in the movie at all.
But no.
So glad.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Sunset fucking killed it.
It was a good story about Sunset. I wouldn't say she was the main character, but she was close.
I kind of do think she was the main character. I mean, no one else was at all interesting. Nothing else happened to anybody else.
It was Twilight. I think her and Twilight were kind of like together the main characters.
Maybe it's just that Twilight's whole arc was so retarded that I couldn't take it seriously. No, it was awful. Think about it. So Twilight's big struggle is, okay, she gets there and she's got to write this new spell to like save everyone, this new musical spell she hasn't done before. And so she thinks, oh, I have to do it all by myself. I
yeah.
can't, no one. Like, how many times does Twilight need to relearn the lesson that your friends can be helpful to you?
Well,
we've learned this so many
that's not
times.
what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were
No?
gonna say that in the end, it all becomes pointless because she realizes that she doesn't even need to write a spell. She can just sing whatever.
Well, that's
It's
a separate
fine.
thing. That's a separate thing. The
Okay.
fact that Twilight is struggling with the, like, can I do this by myself? No one can help me. They're all relying
Well,
on me.
None of them could have helped her. Though.
That's not true. They
None of them knew how the spell would work.
that doesn't even matter. The fact that she was struggling with that issue was a problem by itself, and especially because Sunset was right there. I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. Twilight and the former student of Celestia are gonna, like, come
Yeah.
together and work on
It
something
would have
and
been
figure
cool
it
if
out.
they'd, like, collaborated on the
Yeah.
spell. Yeah, I guess. But, you know, it's not like there's really hard and fast rules of magic in Equestria that they could have, like, discussed
Clearly,
and theorized
because
about.
they are throwing out
There wouldn't-
every fucking magic
There wouldn't
rule
really
book.
be anything to talk about to the audience with that. So, you know, in the end, they sing together and they do it. And that's what we get.
Yeah.
And that's cool, I guess. That's cool, too.
The singing thing sucked ass.
I think. What do you mean the singing thing?
I
the
mean-
the music was good. The songs
No,
were pretty good.
most of the songs were okay. I
Enjoyed-
really
I
liked
think
some.
I don't think there were any that I really didn't like.
There were some that were totally boring to me, so I don't
None
know,
of
some are okay.
I mean, there were a lot. It's hard to remember exactly, but I think they all progressed the plot. None of them were just complete fluff.
I think that's not true, but I can't remember. There were so many
There
fucking
were
songs.
there were quite a
I
few.
can't keep them straight. But my favorite song by far, and this was really the best part of the whole movie,
Yeah.
was like the battle, good have a battle, battle of the bands.
The cafeteria song?
The cafeteria song by the Dazzlings was
good.
the high point of the movie for me by a huge margin. It was so awesome. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, it was good.
The animation was tight. Those girls are the sexiest fucking creatures. I love the Dazzlings. I want to have sex with all of them.
I like-
especially Adagio.
I do like. Which one's Adagio? The orange?
She's the leader.
Dude, no. The stupid one's a cutie.
She's a cutie too, but Adagio's way hotter.
Was that Sonata?
Yeah, that's Sonata. And no one likes Aria.
And
Aria sucks
was
ass.
if Aria was the meat, and Aria sucks. No, Sonata was nice. I want to date. I want to date
Well,
that
I wanna,
beast.
I wanna fuck ragged Adagio. Fuck her ragged.
That brings me to something that I really did like. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I think my like final verdict on this movie is that all right, it's a terrible premise. The universe,
yeah,
the
pretty
setting, it's following on the heels of the piece of shit that was the original.
Yeah.
It's cursed with being set in a high school and being about a high school band.
Yeah.
All of these are horrible things. Given all those disgusting limitations, they did probably the best they could have done. And they actually did some things that I appreciate, like the inclusion and the focus on Sunset Shimmer.
Yeah.
And also, tell me if you agree about this. I really like the idea that the human world has just like lots of stray people running around that are actually like monsters banished from Equestria. Like there might be more just sort of evil demon people that have been banished there and that
Yeah,
are just
you know-
kind of menacing the populace and
Okay,
no
like
one really knows
the fact
why.
that there was one villain, Sunset Shimmer, there, like, okay, I'm totally with you, that's fine.
Yeah,
and the fact
yeah,
in this
yeah.
movie that Starswell the Bearded had banished some to some dimension where they couldn't cause any trouble happened to be this one. Okay, pulling at my
maybe-
suspension of disbelief a little bit.
Well,
if it happens again and
two-
again
well,
and again,
no.
then it's just gonna be too much.
No, because these two dimensions are adjacent to each other, so it would be easy to banish someone from one to the other. And
Yeah.
clearly there's connections
That
going.
seems pretty irresponsible of Starswirl, though. If
Well,
he's just fucking throwing his garbage into
Maybe
like
he
the next
didn't
door
know
neighbor.
anything about the other world and assumed that it would just be like a void.
That's still irresponsible. Starswirl, you douche. Fuck you, man.
I don't know. Well, he's getting rid of a definite problem in this world that would only
Yeah.
possibly cause a problem somewhere else. Or maybe it would be
I
fine.
guess. By the way, that whole thing about Starswirl and like the animation right there was super tight. I loved it.
Yeah.
It looked
you know,
awesome.
I like
This was Starswirl's best thing yet.
You know, I think Star Swirl, I think I kind of have a little... I think I have
Gay
a little
crush.
head canon about Star Swirl now.
Oh,
He's
Jesus.
what other blue unicorns with
Trixie!
with purple eyes do we know, Keg?
Does Trixie have purple eyes?
Fucking Star Swirl. Fucking Star.
What about him?
I'm Star Swirl.
Oh, you!
I'm Star.
Oh!
Is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
It's me.
You must be the reincarnation. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It can happen. I've seen Tumblrs about that very thing.
Can't fault you there.
I'm gonna research this. This is new.
okay.
This isn't going away.
We'll see what develops.
I'm gonna revisit this subject all the time.
Hey, one more point about that Battle of the Bands song that Adagio sings in the cafeteria.
Yes.
I really dug it, as you know.
Everybody's favorite.
It should be their favorite.
Yeah.
That song was kind of about how, like, these bad villains come in and they're causing trouble, man. They're gonna make some trouble by convincing everyone to compete against each other.
Well, they take an innocent
Yeah.
music showcase and
Yeah.
they turn it into a, competitive thing.
You can't tell me you didn't get a vibe that they're just saying that competition is bad. That was the movie. Competition is bad, the movie.
Well, they make it a competition
Yeah.
so that
yeah.
they can have the people fighting with each other over who's going
I know
to
why
win.
they did it. I know why they did it. It makes sense in their world.
Look, okay,
but the meta behind it.
Their need for, conflict was
Yeah.
facilitated by its being a contest rather than just a showcase. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's... I mean,
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll
yeah,
tell you this,
I
Phantom.
guess.
As I was watching that video, and
I guess
they
I
were...
can see what you mean, I just think it's reading a little more into it than necessary.
Okay, maybe, but as I was watching that fucking song, dude, I was just getting so fucking pumped. I was like, yes, let's have a fucking battle.
Oh.
This is the most awesome thing ever. Man,
Well,
everything
shit,
about
Keg,
that fucking video was
I guess,
awesome.
I guess the spell just worked on it. I guess Earth ponies like you just don't have enough equestrian magic in them to resist the effects
Our little
of,
brains are susceptible to
siren,
these things.
The siren song is...
Hey man, I'll fall for Adagio spell any day.
Stupid one's the cute one. I think the highlight of the film for me might have been the big final battle.
That was the highlights?
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was really cool, actually.
It looked cool.
It looked really cool, and it was right out of Scott Pilgrim, which is maybe not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
I mean-
maybe I shouldn't be praising it for that, because it's like exactly the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah.
Okay, it looked cool. It looked cool.
It was cool when they did it, so why wouldn't it be cool again?
Yeah.
In Ponyland.
But
Human Ponyland.
that reminds, I don't know, like you were saying before that like you think that they did the best with the material they could in this
Yeah.
movie. The,
Yeah.
the one glaring thing is like this whole like music angle. I know they give like an explanation for like, oh, they turned rainbow because they
I don't know.
because
Like,
the
yeah,
sirens are there, so they bounce off them.
The setup is contrived.
Yeah.
Now they have a band. Their
Yeah.
magic only works when there's music. Now there's a battle of the bands.
Jeez, could I roll my eyes any harder than I am
now
right
some
now?
music demons have appeared.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah.
Like that's all dumb. But that aside, once you get over that,
Well, yeah.
it's pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just took a while for me to get over it.
Also, there's the character designs. They still look like shitty fucking dolls, and I hate them.
I want to have sex with all the sirens. That's all I've got to say.
They're just the best of the worst.
Hey, speaking of the sirens, did you notice that the
Nope.
sirens bear a striking resemblance to
Nope.
our old friends, the sea ponies?
Oh!
Yeah!
Do they?
They do. Look at the fucking artwork, man. They look exactly like they're like Capricorn motherfuckers.
in their magic form.
Yeah, in their magic
Yeah,
form.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Fucking sea ponies, man.
I gotcha. It was cool though when those ghost monsters came out.
But
They're all like,
I was a
"Rawr."
little confused. So like they are those weird Capricorn things like in real life, but they're just
Well,
what's going
they
on with
had
that?
magic.
Yeah.
So, it was
Wait,
it was like a magic. Once they got Equestrian magic back, they were able to give like a magical projection
Right.
of their
Right.
their
And
self.
also because the
I'm not
ponies
sure
made a
it-
projection of an alicorn too.
It
so.
might have been a metaphor.
For what?
Like I don't know. You gotta ask yourself:
Yeah.
were there actually these like ghosts flying out of their guitars, being puppeted by their songs, or was it sort of like a metaphor for whose music was overcoming whose?
Well, just opening a can of worms. But I'm
I
gonna say
know.
absolutely, definitely, yes, they were physically there. There were big lasers in the sky.
Since it's My Little Pony,
Lasers in the sky are well established.
I'm
so
gonna have to err on the side of yes, it really was a giant ghost alicorn.
Yep.
Just like in Scott Pilgrim.
You know another thing that really had me rolling my eyes at maximum speed?
What's that, Keg?
It was when Sunset Shimmer pulls out her book that has a magical connection to another book in Celestia's library.
Yeah.
And, that was okay. But then she starts writing in it, and we cut to Equestria, and oh, isn't it convenient that they happen to be wheeling out Celestia's old books into Twilight's library, and it's right there, and fucking...
Whatever. If it wasn't being wheeled in by a guy at that exact moment, it could have already been delivered and just been in a pile.
But see,
and she could
this
have
raises
seen
another point. Why?
It doesn't
why
matter.
really?
It's fine.
Listen to my point. Why really did they need Twilight? Why didn't they just connect to Celestia herself, who's, you know, the superior force in the world? Why did they really need Twilight?
Are you asking why did the writers do that, or
Yeah.
why did the characters
Basically,
do that?
well, I know why the writers did, so Twilight could be on screen more, but really,
Well,
it would have made more
why did
sense
the-
to get Celestia
Well,
involved with this problem.
She did write to Celestia, but Twilight was the one that found it.
I know, but I'm saying it's already a contrived story.
Well,
it would have just made more
I
sense
don't know.
to like...
I think it's appropriate that Twilight was the one that went through, because she's the one that was there before and is friends with the guys, and she's a princess in her own right, so, you know, Celestia technically has no more authority than she does.
It's just like it's a contrived thing happening, combined with the fact that I think it would have made more sense to get Celestia, so whatever.
I can't really say I have a problem with any of that. Overall, I thought the methods used by the characters to deal with the conflicts and just the progression of the story was much better than in the first one. I thought
I agree.
that like the scale of the action and the situation matched better. Does that make any sense?
Kinda. Like I particularly liked how Spike
Like there's a good reason why there's a good reason why this threat needs to be dealt with via about a musical talent show.
That's true.
Unlike in the original where like this
Why didn't you just smash the case and grab the fucking crown?
There's no good reason why this evil person from another dimension needs
Yeah.
to be dealt with via, you know, a school president voting.
Yeah.
I forget what it was.
Queen of the prom, whatever.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, that was retarded. This makes a little more sense, so that's definitely an improvement.
It has that up on the original.
Like, one example of that is, like, when at the end of the movie, when they're all trapped underneath the stage and Spike went to get Vinyl to free them.
Yes.
That just made so much sense.
It was good.
It was really good. It was really good. I like that.
Yeah, it didn't even feel contrived.
Nope, it felt pretty good. You know I talked about this before, but I really cannot overstate how much I loved Sunset Shimmer in this movie.
She's good?
Particularly, okay, because she was a terrible character in the first movie, and it was as retarded as Luna being magically made good by the elements of harmony that Sunset was just immediately turned into a good person by the crown in the last movie. But accepting that that happened, the fact that Sunset is now really embarrassed about how she used to be evil,
Yes.
and you know, that keeps coming up and it kind of got old, but seeing her consistently being upset about it and not fitting in and being really eager to find a place for herself, I was so on board with that. I thought it was perfect.
Agree.
I'm glad to hear that. But, you know, that just really highlights how retarded I thought Twilight was in this whole movie.
Why? She was our Twilight.
Yeah,
You know,
she was our Twilight.
Using science magic to do stuff.
It was mostly the fact
Save
that
the day.
I didn't...
Be friends.
Yeah, she
Princess.
sucks ass. It was really mostly that thing about, like, her struggle was pointless and didn't even make sense to me, so...
You can't just say that. Why?
I already explained
why
it.
was it?
It didn't make
Oh,
sense
oh.
because she specifically already knows the value of working together with people.
Oh, I already said I don't agree. Because her problem is just that she doesn't know how to cast this particular spell. It's not that she doesn't understand the nature of friendship well enough. She's like, oh, how does this spell work? How does this spell work? In the end, she's like, oh, you know what? It's way less complicated than I thought. So, yeah.
Was that what happened?
Yeah.
If you say so.
She's just like, you know, I don't have to worry about just whatever. The magic of friendship is enough. I don't
so she
need
was
to
just
like.
being dumb the whole time and then figured it out?
I guess so.
Well, okay, fine. You win, Twilight. Oh, hey, here's something. Did you notice at the end of the movie when Twilight, now they've got the portal working 24/7, you can go through any time.
Oh, yeah.
How come it was never even suggested by anyone that Sunset might want to go back to the place that she lived, like, the vast majority of her life? I mean, I know
Well,
she's found her home here, but I just would have liked to heard something about it.
Who should have suggested that?
Well, probably not Sunset.
It wouldn't have been appropriate for Sunset because she was banned. Wait, no, she fled.
I think she fled.
Well, she was
just
kind
ran.
of. I don't know. I don't think it would have been appropriate for Sunset.
I would have liked to
I
just see
don't think-
Twilight say, hey, Sunset, you want to come back with me? You're good now, we could talk to Celestia. And I would have liked to hear Sunset be like, no, I found my true home here.
You
I mean,
know-
I understood that, and I kind of appreciate they didn't spell it out for me. It's just,
Well,
no one even suggested she go home.
Stop giving them that much credit. They spell out everything way overboard in this movie.
yeah.
Let's not be like, oh, I really like the subtle story. No, if they failed to mention something, they just forgot to mention it.
That's probably true.
So I agree. Yeah, it would have been nice if she'd said that.
yeah. But,
Yeah,
tiny
okay.
point, no big deal.
I'll give you that.
Hey, all right. And just the animation overall, I want to say again, was just beautiful.
It was
I loved it.
an improvement. There were a lot of
scenes I really enjoyed.
The final scene was really spectacular.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I maybe liked it, well, maybe my memory's fuzzy, but I think I enjoyed it at least as much as the Tyrek fight, visually.
Yeah, maybe. It was definitely a different sort of thing, but a lot of the songs, especially like the Dazzlings, I noticed a lot of their songs had really interesting angles, and they were just doing a lot of unique stuff with them. It was awesome.
There's a scene where, I don't know, she's saying,
holds
like,
up her
under
hand,
our
right?
spell or something, and she holds her hand out to the camera and, like, moves her hand across the screen and looks really,
I was
really
under
good.
her spell.
There's a bunch of, like, more interesting sort of depth shots where characters...
like when they emerge from the green fog. There's that moment when they're walking out of the fog and you see it, like, around them. It looks beautiful.
Where they, like, I'm talking about ones where they, like, extend towards the camera and just move.
And
there's one where, like, the shot goes up Rainbow's fretboard as she's playing guitar, and it looks really, because her one hand's in, it's cool. Yeah,
good stuff, guys.
I mean, it's expected that the visuals get better because they had all of the assets of the previous one to play off, and the experience of the old. But no, it was really good.
Yeah, and in a similar vein,
it looked even better.
And I like seeing even more pony human guys. I saw Snowflake, bulk biceps there. He looked awesome.
Yeah.
Octavia was there and had a voice. Octavia was given a voice.
Speaking of the one real time we see Snowflake is when they're doing another cool visual thing that I thought was awesome.
Was that with the board when they have the tournament?
Honestly, I wish they'd done more.
I wanted to see every single bracket,
I wish they'd shown every single...
I was thinking the same.
Where they show a quick little thing of like one person just like blasting the other out with their
I wanted
magic.
to see every single group and like see their emblem and know who every single one was, right?
I did too.
Dude, totally.
Unfortunately, we only got a couple, but they were cool.
But I was wondering, they gave Octavia a voice. How come they didn't give Vinyl a voice? Is there a reason for that? Is it because everyone wants Vinyl to be like a main 7 character or something?
I really can only speculate.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's because Vinyl is like... She's definitely more recognizable.
Yeah.
Maybe she's more of like a kind of a gag. They've kind of turned it into more of her gag. So if they did
sort
it
of
with
have.
Octavia too, it would, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Hey, also, what did you think of just the blatant fan pandering? Just the pure sexual pandering. The slumber party. Let's talk about the slumber party. Just, my dick was out. That's the end of the story.
What did I think?
Dick was
what did I
out.
think about it, Keg?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, man.
Woo!
That Rarity outfit, dough.
The sleepover one?
Yeah.
It was nice.
Hot shit, man. Hot shit.
So, to wrap it all up, bringing it back to reality here. We've talked a lot about things I liked, and there were a bunch of things that were legit cool, I did enjoy, thought were definite improvements over the first one.
Unfortunately, it's still an Equestria Girls.
Yeah, but those were little bits set into an hour-long movie of mostly dialogue, most of which was kind of unbearable. And I feel like maybe I should give some examples of jokes falling flat, like when... I don't know, that thing with Fluttershy getting the frosting on her nose and Applejack is like, what was
the
even
pacing was really weird.
Going on?
The pacing was very painful at times with stuff like that.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. Talking to Celeste, I don't know, I really didn't like it when she was talking to Celestia, and I don't know, I felt like she took a long time to get around to Celestia just coming out and saying, yes, the Dazzlings sang a spell and have hypnotized us, but they kind of like waffled over it for a minute. I don't know.
But yeah, things like that felt weird.
Yeah, that was
much worse than the show.
That was most of the movie for me. So those legit cool nuggets in there, I don't know, they don't quite make up for it. I still don't give this movie a recommendation, but if you enjoyed it, I can totally understand
What's
why.
your score, Phantom? Wrap it up.
10 out of 10.
All right. As for me, I can honestly say I'm not particularly upset that this movie exists. And for that reason, I give it 6 waifus out of 10.
The damage was already done with the first one.
It's true.
This one hasn't done any further harm.
It's like when you zip up over your dick, the track's already been laid, we're just going back over the tracks.
We all know what that's like.
And that is gonna do it for our Rainbow Rocks TBBBAP review show.
Thanks for joining us, friends on the internet.
It's been fun. I'm Cake Standard.
And I'm Phantom Horn.
See you next time.
I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom, I'm crazy. Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze me. I'm still getting in the girls' pants, and I even got my own dance. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump. People say, yo, Humpty, you're really funny looking. That's alright, cause I get things cooking. You stare, you glare, you constantly try to compare me, but you can't get near me. I'm giving more C, and on the floor B, all the girls, they adore me. Oh yes, ladies, I'm really being sincere, cause in the 69, my Humpty nose will tickle your rear. My nose is big.